Okay.
Thank you so much for doing this. This is awesome. There's nothing like celebrating the success of TGS students. So I really appreciate the time.
No, no, thanks to you, Isaac. I mean, I'm very happy to do this.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Me too. Me too. Would you mind sharing a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, well, my name is Sergio. I'm from Mexico and I have two jobs right now. So I'm a part-time project manager for a consulting company. My background is from consulting. I worked there 5 years and I kept working. I'm still working there with just a little bit of work, just one project managing it. And I'm also a full-time logistics manager in a truck company in Mexico. So that's kind of in a nutshell what I do right now in terms of my
You
job.
you like to stay busy.
I would like to, sorry.
You like to stay busy.
Yeah, yeah, I do all of my both of my works.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah.
For most people, one full-time role is enough, but not for everybody.
Yeah, I got a lot of a great team that helped me, but yeah, I mean, I like to diversify. I love consulting, but I also wanted to try operations and have the accountability of an actual role.
Well, spoken like a great leader, giving the team credit, man.
Yeah.
All right, so if you don't mind sharing, what was the problem that you had prior to joining our program?
Yeah, so a little bit of background of how I started studying and how my problem became a problem is that, well, I started just working by myself. I hired another, like, for content, an online content study to just to know the GMAT, know the format. I started in February of this year. Right now we're in November, so I think up to that point until August, I mean, I was studying, and my job was very demanding. I was working kind of almost full time in both. So, I mean, I still have my team, but there was a lot of pressure, and I didn't have a lot of time to study. So, in practice tests, I think the highest that I got to that point was a 610, and I wanted to get something around 700. So I was very far away from that. I had already spent months, and I didn't see a lot of progress. So something happened in my work, like my job. My boss gave me 1 month to study, like 1 month out. That was a great opportunity to study, to get off my head of the work and just get in there, get the GMAT done. And it actually helped at the beginning. Like the first exam that I got a 640 or 660, something like that. And it was great, like 660, right? So, like, yeah, the work was my problem. So that was week one after I took that time off. Then 1 week later, I kept studying, really looking at my mistakes, and then I got a 650. Another week, 630. So I was getting worse. And I was starting to feel a lot of pressure that I wasn't feeling before. It was even worse than when I was working.
Mm.
And yeah, that was my problem. I didn't know what to change. I had spent months already and was stuck already. I wasn't making any progress. The total opposite. So that was my problem.
Yeah, I would love to say I can't relate, but at this point, most people know my story, and
Yeah.
it's horrible. It's horrible. There's so much despair, and I know I can speak for myself. I started to doubt like my own abilities, and that was probably the worst thing out of everything. So thanks for sharing. Is there any reason you chose to work with us over any other program?
Yeah, so I had started listening to your podcast a few months back. Before this was in August, before we started working. So I don't know, in July, I just found it. Like, it was luck, honestly. And I really like your, like, right off the bat. I like the way you talked about the GMAT, like if it was nothing to be scared of. I was like, okay, let's see what we have here. I actually started applying some of the tips that you say mentioned in the podcast, and I saw results. Like, I felt like I was getting better. So I listened to, I don't know, almost all of it. I think that you have there, all the content. And that's when I felt like super desperate 1 week prior to my official guide. I thought, like, yeah, I need to hire some help, like some professional help, and like the GMAT strategy was my first option.
Mm.
One thing that I do regret is not watching your video before. You mentioned a lot in your podcast, and I was like, "Ah, I don't have 20 minutes. Like, what is he gonna tell me that is not in the podcast?" Well, for everyone listening, watch the video. Like it really changes the perspective. And that will make that after I saw the video, I didn't finish it. It was like I have to do this. I just contacted you after it. So yeah, that made me choose you. Like the podcast was a really, really great help. And then looking at the video and how you tackle the GMAT, giving a little bit more of the specifics of the what's the actual strategy and how the program is tailored to what I needed. That was the deal, the tiebreaker for other programs.
Thank you so much. And I'm so happy that we got it done, but better late than never.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. So was there anything in particular about our program that really helped you?
So I would say three things. First, the personalized coaching, like identifying what is exactly what I needed, right? It's not just a broad like this is everything that you have to study, calls if you need help. No, it's more like, okay, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that, let's try this, and kind of trying to figure out together what is it that I needed, right? And I think in my case, it was not a really content issue. It was more a personal issue, like my psychology issue, how I felt pressure because, well, given a little bit more of background here, after 1 week of contacting you, we started working. We made a lot of progress in 1 week, but my first official exam was a 550, so super below what I needed. And that's when we started working differently, like focusing more on things outside GMAT, on my diet, on a lot of other things, right? That was just for me and how I what I needed to do to be consistent to actually show on test day what I already knew.
Mm.
But I think that's point number one. Point number two would be the overall strategy, especially for the quant section. I was never bad at quant, but the strategy just makes it so easier. Like focusing on how to get a higher score with what I already know. Like I think that really a differentiator.
Mm.
And
Mm.
then, well, the specific approach to the verbal side. I think from all the sources that I've already seen, the official guide, from other sources that I had before to learn content, I think I was not as systematic on tackling verbal questions, and now there was a rule that I could just follow, and it was very, very easy to be consistent, right? To not have swings of I had a very good day on verbal, then I had a very bad one. Just get the score that I needed. I think those are the three biggest things.
Awesome. You have no idea how happy that makes me to hear. And it's such a pleasure to help out and make a difference. So thank you so much.
No.
So as a result of implementing what we worked on together, what was the outcome?
So after that 550 that I got in August, 2 months later, I got a 680. So I think that says it all. So it was higher than I've ever gotten in a practice test, right? I did great on quant, like my average, like my top on quant, and I did a record in verbal, so I got that far. Yeah, so I don't know what else to say. Like that's the result and quantifiable.
That's awesome. And I mean, I guess I just want to point out, like, did it feel easier when you got that higher score? Was that the easiest the test had felt?
No, not at all. And I told you this, and maybe for other people listening, like maybe they can relate. I mean, I finished quant first, thought I blew it. Like it just felt bad. I saw the final question. I thought it was super easy. I guess I got it right, but that just got me thinking, like, no, I'm not gonna do right. So I gotta do super well on verbal. After verbal, I didn't know. Like I actually didn't know if I was doing great or not. The questions seemed difficult, but they were. So yeah, while doing the process, it didn't feel like it was easier, but seeing the results, like, well, that's the result. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Way to persevere. So I'd love to hear how your life has changed since reaching your goal. I know it hasn't been super long, but what can you share?
well, yeah, it hasn't been long, but I do have some significant changes. Well, one thing is how this will impact my future life, right? The expected result is that now the range of schools that I can apply to is way different with a 680 than a 550. Right? And that's what I wanted. So that's gonna change a lot, maybe not right now, but in the future. And I think for my specific case, like this experience with the GMAT and with the GMAT strategy just helped me to actually know how to handle pressure better in my life, in my work, in everywhere, right? And yeah, just very just small tips that I can take from here, like specific things that I did, how to actually meditate a little bit, or I don't know, forget what I already done if I screwed up, like focus on the next thing. Like that works for everywhere, not just for the GMAT, right? And well, I see results right now because I was not doing well. I was underperforming in both of my works before working with the GMAT strategy. Right now, I got the score I wanted in GMAT, and I'm doing great in my work. So I can see results. I don't know if it's all this, but yeah, I mean, I've been applying all these things in my life, and I see results.
Well, you deserve it so much, and it's 100% a team effort. It's definitely not all one or the other. So thanks for putting everything into
Yeah,
practice.
no, and
Get
it's
those kinds
good.
of results. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Our pleasure. So just a couple more questions. Where do you think you would be right now if you didn't take action and join TGS?
So the first thing, well, the impact would be either just waiting another year to get a score. So it would be a huge loss of time. Like if I still wanted to keep studying to get that score, like doing it on my own, maybe I would get it eventually, but I don't know how long it would be. Like maybe I would lose a year at least, right, to get to the next round of applications. Or the other one is, well, not being able to apply to the level of schools that I want and settle down for another kind of business schools,
Mm,
right? So that is a it's a game changer for my life, I guess.
You have no idea how happy that makes me. Um, Last question. If anyone who's watching this is on the fence about booking a call to speak to us or joining TGS, what would you say to them?
Well, first watch the video. You can convince them better than I can. You already did with me. Yeah, like I mean, someone like their like me, like not wanting to watch it, just watch it, give it a shot. I mean, this interview may help a little bit too. And maybe another thing is, well, if there are people that are struggling like me, then in specifically on this side of like something else that is not the content, but something else, like this could really help.
Mm,
But even if it's not a similar situation, I would say like it's good to start doing this in every stage. It doesn't matter if you're just getting to know the GMAT. Like I think I could have gotten this score in I don't know 3 months instead of 9 if I started working earlier,
right. Yeah.
right? So I wouldn't say like yeah, see it as a last resort. No, I mean just start off with that. I mean it's a great way to do it. It's gonna save time at the end, and yeah, the gym is gonna feel a little bit more well, yeah, easier to understand at least, and kind of see through it, and get a good result. I mean, it's just a good investment, I'd say.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Also, thanks for the opportunity to contribute to your success. Your win is a massive, massive win for me and everyone on the team. And the ripple effect of what you are going to accomplish and do with your career, for your family, for the people you interact with, for the people you're leading, for the people you're working with. I've just experienced it in my own life as a result of going through the process I did. And I'm just so excited for you to reap all the benefits and experience the success from all the time and energy you invested in the process. So thanks for investing a little bit more to pass it on and help some other
Yeah.
people just understand what the process looks like.
No, thanks to you guys. Like, I mean, for everything. I mean, for being there, and also, I mean, kind of sharing your philosophy of wanting to help more people. Well, this is my little part. I don't want them to struggle with the GMAT either. So, yeah, I mean, this is a great advice, and I mean, also thanks for everything.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. Thank you. All right, everybody. Talk to you soon. Okay. Let me stop this.